Hi, I'm Paul Beckwith. I think it must be getting pretty clear to people all over the world today that something is not right with the climate. So in a nutshell, the Arctic temperature amplification is so great that it's disrupted the jet stream patterns in the atmosphere, and that changes all of the extreme weather events and the statistics, and we get increasing frequencies and severities and durations of extreme weather events. We also have a disruption of the ocean currents, specifically with a very cold pool south of Greenland, which shows that the Gulf Stream moving up the eastern coast of the U.S. is behaving differently. The ocean overturning is behaving differently. Also, the Pacific Ocean has completely changed. This is a global phenomena, and it's only early stages of abrupt climate change. The situation that we're heading to is one with no ice or snow in the Arctic. So the sea ice is exponentially declining. The snow cover, especially in the spring, is exponentially declining. How fast are these things happening? Well, take the rates of change, divide all the changes that are happening by 0. In other words, they're spiking upwards. This is new territory for humanity. We have not seen this before. So it's hard for many people to wrap their minds around this, especially politicians and the public and even scientists. So I encourage you to go to my website, paulbeckwith.net. I encourage you to watch some of my videos. I've done over 100 in the last several years. I encourage you to go to the Arctic Methane Emergency Group website and find out what we're talking about, because we've essentially tried to figure out what's happened in the past, what's changing now, and where we're heading. We're going to a blue ocean situation in the Arctic very quickly, where there's no sea ice at the end of the melt season in the summer. Once that happens, the feedbacks will kick in greatly, and we risk the emissions of methane from both the permafrost on the land in the Arctic and also the permafrost that is under the ocean floor, most specifically on the eastern Siberian Arctic shelf. So what we really risk is a large outburst of methane, which will greatly amplify the warming that we're seeing. So what you can expect in the near future is a complete loss of sea ice at the end of the melt season, the first year, whether it happens in 2020 or 2016 or 2017, it's coming very soon. Once that happens, there'll be no sea ice for a duration of, a couple of weeks to a month. And then within a few years, there'll be no sea ice in the summer season for 3-4 months. Within a decade or two, no sea ice year-round, a very warm Arctic, and a completely different climate and weather system on the planet. This is where we're heading. This is not necessarily what has to happen, although it may be too late to do anything about it. But we don't know that for sure. We absolutely must slash fossil fuel emissions down to 0 as soon as possible. That's the first leg, if you like, of a 3-legged bar stool. We must cool the Arctic in order to try to stabilize the jet streams and the ocean currents. Marine cloud brightening is the best possibility for that. Also, so that's the second leg of the 3-legged bar stool. And the third leg is we must remove CO2 from the atmosphere, ocean system. Whether it's best done from the atmosphere or the ocean, it doesn't matter. Removing it from one of those regions will lower it in the other region. And we have to do this as soon as possible. Otherwise, we risk a complete collapse of the marine food chain, because the acidification and the warming of the ocean is causing stratification, nutrients aren't getting to the surface, so we have much fewer, much less phytoplankton, which is vital for the entire marine food chain, and it's also vital for producing oxygen for the atmosphere. We have an emergency situation with the climate system right now. It's about time that humanity, the public, the politicians, countries treat this situation like the emergency that it really is. I'm Paul Beckwith. Please have a look at my website and please consider supporting this research, which is just self-funded by myself. Thank you for listening.